Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Mark Cuban breaks his only investment rule. Let's get right into it. The well-known business tycoon and Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban has never held back when it comes to expressing his skepticism towards the Silicon Valley mindset. He's always been an outspoken critic of what he calls fancy tech ventures spearheaded by the so-called tech bros dominating the Silicon Valley scene. During a recent chat on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast, Cuban talked about his deliberate strategy to steer clear of investments in California's tech hub. His preference? Supporting initiatives that hit closer to home, like costplusdrugs.com, a website dedicated to making medications more accessible and affordable. With a personal fortune of $5.1 billion, as estimated by Forbes, Cuban can afford to be picky, and picky he is, especially when it comes to Silicon Valley. He's made it clear, saying, "I do all I can not to let any of my investments work out of Silicon Valley." The attitude, it's just like, of course we're smarter. We went to Harvard. We went to MIT. We're in tech. But it seems like even Mark Cuban, as steadfast as he is, has found one Silicon Valley firm he couldn't resist. That firm is Alumix, a cutting-edge company dabbling in the realm of augmented reality created by Kiran Sinha and located right in the heart of the Bay Area. Cuban, along with a few other investors, decided to back Alumix's Series A funding round, pitching in a chunk of the $18 million raised. In a chat with Bazinga, Cuban said that Alumix is the exception that proves the rule, and he shared why he decided to back the company. Cuban's admiration for Kiran Sinha, the founder of Alumix, and her down-to-earth style is evident. She doesn't fit the usual Silicon Valley mold, and that's one of the things Cuban loves about her. Sinha's brilliance, along with the market position her company has carved out for itself, were the game changers for Cuban. He acknowledges that Sinha's genuine passion and deep knowledge in the augmented reality domain have been instrumental in propelling her company to success. And it isn't just Cuban who's seeing potential in Alumix. Other big names backing the Series A funding round include Sony's innovation fund, billionaire businessman and philanthropist Henry Kravis, and Maveron, a venture capital firm co-founded by former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz. Their involvement underscores the potential of Alumix and its trailblazing technologies. Cuban's criticism of Silicon Valley's mindset isn't new. Despite his stakes in successful ventures like Magnolia Pictures and AXS TV, he's always urged startups to consider building their businesses outside the Bay Area. His reasoning is pretty straightforward. By doing so, startups can dodge the fierce competition for resources. During a 2019 episode of the Recode Decode podcast, Cuban made it clear that location shouldn't be the deciding factor if a startup is mission-driven. In his opinion, just like how the movie industry is tied to Los Angeles, the tech industry has become too tied to Silicon Valley, and this narrow focus on one region isn't without its downsides. Cuban emphasized that the original idea of the internet was to connect folks from all corners of the world, which is why the idea of moving to Silicon Valley never appealed to him. Cuban has also had his share of unpleasant experiences in Silicon Valley. When Silicon Valley Bank went under, Cuban found himself on the hook for a big financial hit. He confessed he had between $8 to $10 million at stake. The fallout affected one of his pet projects, a medication website that he treats like his baby. The site found itself in a tight spot trying to meet its payroll obligations, with $3.1 million tied up with the now defunct lender. Even though Cuban faced setbacks and financial losses, he remains firm in his conviction that startups can prosper and thrive outside the Silicon Valley bubble. By urging entrepreneurs to explore alternate locations and resources, he champions a more diverse and widespread ecosystem that fosters innovation across various regions. The recent investment in Alumix, a frontrunner in the world of augmented reality, has generated substantial buzz. The company's successful funding round has reinforced its standing as a leader in the field. In a recent interview, Kiran Sinha, the founder of Alumix, spoke about what makes her different from other Silicon Valley founders. Chiefly, she's not your typical tech bro. Sinha acknowledged the uphill battle she faced during early fundraising rounds, noting that as a woman, she had to work twice as hard to convince potential investors about the tech and business viability. The important thing was to find investors who believed in her and the business she was building, rather than just providing financial support. Sinha declined investment offers from several companies and individuals, choosing instead those who could genuinely contribute to her vision. The resistance to Silicon Valley's male-dominated culture goes beyond Sinha and Alumix. Melinda French Gates, the founder of Pivotal, a venture launched in 2015 with the goal of improving women's lives through investing in advocacy, has also expressed her reservations about the region. In a conversation with Fortune, French Gates revealed that she had invested $50 million in an initiative called Gender Equality in Tech Cities. This endeavor aims to create more inclusive innovation hubs in cities like Chicago, providing more opportunities for women in tech. That's all for today. We'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.